so Arizona's economy can, in fact, continue to grow and to thrive. Want to bring back into the conversation Bob Cusack, who's standing by as well, along with Liz Smith. And Bob, let me just go to you first as we're awaiting Senator Schumer to begin his press conference there, addressing the nation with the passage of this legislation, of course, hopefully taking questions as well. What are you expecting to hear from the senator?
Well, I think you're going to see some spiking of the ball, and this has been a very difficult process. We've been talking about this for literally over a year, and it's been a roller coaster up and down. The bill has been changed a million times. So now, at the same time, as you were talking to Senator Coons, he said help is on the way. Yeah. Democrats also, the prescription drug language is not going to be effective tomorrow. I mean, the government HHS has to implement a lot of the stuff in the bill. So there has to be some patience, because even though this bill just passed and it will be signed into law sometime next week, the provisions take a while to actually implement from the government. And we saw that with the Obamacare website. You have to be very careful on implementation to make sure it's implemented the right way. Yeah, that's such a good point, Liz. And because I think it's one thing when you talk about the passage of this legislation and what it will do. It's another thing to see the real world impacts of that, right? Because that's how it actually gets turned into votes. It's the real world impacts and the way in which this legislation is communicated to the American people. And Democrats at times have fallen short when it comes to communication to the American people on their wins, right? So how do you ensure they accurately communicate this legislation, their wins here, right? Especially amidst the fact that it could take some time for these changes to be implemented.
Yeah, and so I do agree with Bob on this. We are not going to feel the impacts of this bill tomorrow. Yeah. And frankly, it might take a while to feel the impacts of this bill. But that doesn't mean that we have to wait. In terms of when we start communicating about it. Because while the impacts might take a while, the intent of each party was made very, very clear with the vote today. And the intent of the Democratic Party, the focus of the Democratic Party is providing relief to families that we know are feeling pain from inflation, whereas the intent of the Republican Party is to ignore it. And again, as I said earlier, these are not radical proposals that were in this bill today. These are provisions that were supported by Republicans like John McCain a decade ago. And so Democrats should go out and say, you know what? Democrats and Republicans are both on the record on these issues. And it is the Democratic Party that is on your side and the Democratic Party that wants to provide you relief.
Bob, are you expecting any issues in the House when this goes back to them on Friday for a final vote before heading to the president's desk?
Not with Nancy Pelosi being the Speaker of the House. Absolutely not. This is going to pass. I'm not saying it's going to be unanimous. They could have one or two Democrats who vote no, but this is going to pass. I also think it's worth noting that it's very important that Democrats opted to pass the Obamacare subsidies through 2024. So that would not be hanging in a presidential election year. And also they can use it as a bit of a weapon to say, okay, nominee Republican, would you continue those subsidies, or would you, are you still seeking the outright repeal of Obamacare? So I think policy-wise and politically, that was smart.
I'm interested, Bob, as to what you've been hearing on the Hill as to what stands out the most to a lot of legislators. Like, which issue within this legislation is standing out the most to them? Are they caring about the most?
Well, whether it actually does a significant job in reducing inflation, I think that's a big X factor. We're not so sure. I think it's the prescription drug pricing. This was a big lobbying fight between AARP and pharma, and it's not like one side got everything they want, but AARP
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, they took some hits when it came to prescription drug pricing. That was the one thing, both from the parliamentarian and then earlier on today as well, they took some major hits when it came to prescription drug pricing, things that they wanted to get across the finish line.
That's right. Yeah. And that's what legislation is, especially in basically a 50-50 Senate and basically a 50-50 House. You're not going to get everything you want. As you were talking to Senator Coons, he didn't get everything he wants, but they got something, and it's more significant on climate than I thought that Joe Manchin would go along for. And if you talk to environmental activists, they wanted more. They always do. But they were pleasantly surprised.
Do you think he was feeling pressure because of his reputation as a senator and that's why he finally got on board with negotiating with Leader Schumer?
You know, I've interviewed Manchin a lot, and I think he wanted to pass something, but he didn't want to pass what Bernie Sanders wanted to pass, and so he changed it, and he used his power, his leverage. Will he have that leverage in the new Senate? Well, maybe. We'll see if Democrats retain or grow their majority. But in all likelihood, the House is probably going to flip to Republicans. So, this type of bill may not pass next year because you could have divided government or some type of reconciliation bill. So, yeah, I think Manchin felt some heat. Senator Sinema felt.